Yo, what's good, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry's ZATIMA review. This is season 2, episode 15, entitled Moments of Clarity. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, then you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe if you choose to. If not, just sit back, relax, and we're going to get right into this thing. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. Thank God. It was Zach's dream and Fatima did not have sex with him. I was a little worried. Because I understand when you're in love and you break up but you still got those feelings. I was just like, Fatima, I hope you stronger than singing Zach up on this stage, giving a horrible rendition of Baby Faces, and nobody knows it but me. Because I was like, get his ass. It was the one time I agreed with Belinda about getting his ass off that stage. But I was so happy that Fatima did not have sex with him and she stuck to her guns in that moment. Because I feel like in some instances she's already going out bad, but she wasn't going out that bad. And I'm extremely happy that that was not the case. So we see Fatima and Paul in bed together. They didn't have sex either, which, I wouldn't have been mad if she did, but I understand why she didn't. And I probably wouldn't have either. So I have definitely laid in bed with men before and nothing happened sexually. That is a habit that I don't encourage anyone to practice because hormones and horniness are very real things, ladies and gentlemen. They are very real things. And I learned a long time ago, don't play with fire. Because you play with fire, then your ass gonna get burned. So it's just best not to put yourself in situations like we saw Fatima and Paul. So Paul lets Fatima know that the more time he spends with her, the more he's beginning to like her and wants to be with her. But before we get into that, Paul made a statement about how their situation was becoming one-sided. And I was like, becoming one-sided, it has always been one-sided. That's just what it is. You know that Fatima just broke up with her fiance, just ended things. You are kind of like the cleanup guy or the rebound guy. Like, you know what your role is. And because of that, your interactions with Fatima will always be one-sided. But I don't knock him for bringing it to the forefront and just making Fatima aware that he knows exactly, what's going on. I don't fault him for that. So not only was he stating it was one-sided, but he felt that Fatima was obtaining all of the benefits. And Fatima let him know that he was getting the opportunity to know her. Now, like I said previously, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that Fatima should be getting it in with Paul. I am not saying that. However, it is somewhat refreshing, I guess if I could use that word, seeing Fatima allow a man to get to know her without sex being a variable in the situation. And we all know that that did not happen with Zach because Fatima's legs were spread eagle the first time that she let Zach spend the night at her house. So it was interesting that I felt like she was giving Paul that segue of, you're getting an opportunity to know me, which in a sense I felt was BS. However, that same thing did not happen with Zach. And so it's interesting because I wonder, and the way that it's almost written is like Paul, in the little bit of time that he has spent with Fatima, is almost like he knows her on a level of intimacy that Zach doesn't. And when I say intimacy does not involve sex or any type of sexual gratification or pleasure, but knowing what she likes, movies, philosophy, art, her being cultured in different ways. And I did not do the review for episode 14, I believe, but it was they were at the club, and Zach was telling her that, I know what you like. All the stuff that Fatima stated that her and Paul communicate about, Zach was like, man, that's corny. You need hood, gutter, street. And I was like, she does? Fatima, that's what you need? But I'm going to pause and I'm going to come back to that because Fatima got on my nerves, but we'll get to that. And so, Paul let her know, I know I'm being used and it's okay. Now, this scene here was very reminiscent of Aaron and Karen. It was giving high energy Karen and Aaron vibes. Okay. Now, Aaron has never said out his mouth that he's okay with being used, but he has always understood his positioning. Okay. He's always understood that. But I'm like, Paul is a different breed. I don't ever think I want this type of breed. Don't ever allow a woman or anybody to use you. I don't care what it's for. And that was a strike against his personality for me, that he was willing and able to allow this person to use him for her benefit. I'm like, Paul, where you come from? Because I'm gonna need you to go back. I like you, but that was just something I just couldn't get down with. So Paul leaves, and before he leaves, he tells Angela, who is sitting on the couch downstairs, he tells her that a couple of her shingles are loose, and he would be more, than welcome to fix them for her free of charge. I said, Paul, you got to be careful of Angela, because Angela makes me think of one of them women that will have sex with someone that her friend has had sex with. I don't trust Angela like that, because Angela is a pick-me, and Angela is one of those women who is too eager to know her friend's business. Like, women like that rub me the wrong way. So it could be just how I personally feel about women, like the women that Angela represents. I just don't trust women like that. So Fatima comes down, and she's, slowly making her way down the stairs, and she sits down and have a conversation with Angela. And this is where things get a little rocky and iffy for me. So Angela asked Fatima, who was bigger, Paul or Zach? And basically Fatima was saying, hell, it will almost be impossible to be bigger than Zach. And I'm like, you don't know that. You don't know what Paul got between his legs, or do you? Because the way that it was presented to us is as if you don't know what he working with, because y'all didn't go that far. Or did y'all? Inquiring minds want to know, Fatima. And by inquiring minds, I mean me. I want to know. But, I digress. The fact that Angela even asked Fatima that question, those are red flags to me. Because, baby girl, that is none of your business. We are not in high school. We are not in college trying to compare the penis size of men our friends have been with. That rubbed me the wrong way, too. I'm like, Angela is just, I can't get down with her. I just cannot get down with her. Then we get to Fatima. Paul just didn't fit. Like, when I move, Zach knows how to move so that I'm always comfortable. He just knows what to do. Paul can't even kiss right. I'm like, oh, boy, stop. I say, you know what? I get it. I can't be too mad at Fatima, because I get it. Because when your heart is with another man, the other man could be good in bed. He can kiss you well. He can make you feel good. But because it's not happening with the man that you want it to happen with, you're going to always find something wrong. That other man is going to always have a deficit, because he's not who you actually want. I said, so Fatima, I'm going to give you a little pass on that. But don't be doing Paul like that, because if Paul is so bad, don't call him to occupy your damn time or to distract you from not dealing with your own feelings, because that's what you're doing. And I don't like that, sis. I just don't. That's just me personally. I don't like stuff like that. So then Fatima brings up what happened the other day at the club and how Zach was saying all the right things. I said, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Zach did what? Zach was saying all the right things. Really, Fatima? There was nothing that Zach said that painted him in a great light. Everything that Zach stated to Fatima went back to sex. I want us to be trapped in the house with the rain falling on us. Can he lay you on your back and kiss you from your kneecap to your... I said, what the... First of all, Zach want to call Paul corny. Zach's ass is corny. That stuff that Zach was saying was so elementary, and it always goes back to sex, because I believe he doesn't have anything to offer but that. He knows he's great in that area, and that's what he used to kind of wheel women back in. That's all he got. And for Fatima to be turned on by that, or Fatima to be saying that Zach said the right things, sis, I'm already looking at you sideways. But this here, I said, Fatima, you better than this. I don't even really give Fatima a lot of props like that, but I'm like, sis, you better than this. I know you are. maybe you just had a slight headache and things wasn't registering, to your brain accurately. But you're better than this, sis. You know what I'm saying? You're just better. Angela ain't got nothing to do. They bring up Bryce because Fatima was telling her that, when I leave, you're going to be back with Bryce anytime now. Angela feels that, Zach has learned his lesson. Zach is ready. Zach is this. And I said, this man called you a bitch multiple times. You saw this man erupt in anger towards your friend, break things, cuss her out, demean, degrade, and disrespect her. And you're telling me in the midst of 2 days, because you saw his sorry ass get up there on that stage, that he's ready to be in the type of relationship that Fatima desires? Are you kidding me? Angela is one of those women who her friends could be getting beat on and she would tell them to go back to that man. That's what I get from her, because after that situation, Fatima has no friends. Literally, Fatima has no friends. Fatima is on an island by herself. I'm not sure. It's almost like sisters. Some of the things that they do is like, why are y'all friends? It has to be the history. That's the only thing that I could think of when it comes to Fatima and Angela's relationship, is the history. Because there is no way I could ever attach myself to a woman like Angela who has that type of mindset. But that's just me. So fast forward, we get to this scene with Belinda and Angela. Angela comes over because everyone believes that Belinda is the one who set up this dating profile for Fatima. Now, basically, this is where I stand. I do not care about a 36-year-old woman creating a fake dating profile for Fatima. And my whole thing is, and I said this, if you caught our Sisters Keeper with me and Erica Vane, I made this statement because we go live on Thursday nights to talk about ZATIMA. And I made the statement of, Fatima and Zach don't have a great storyline. It's not a powerful storyline. It's not a strong storyline. I literally don't like any of the supporting cast on ZATIMA. They are not likable to me. None of them are. Their storylines are trash. So it's almost like I don't like nobody on this show. I don't like anybody on this show. Of all the things that could be going on, we really have Belinda out here making a fake profile for Fatima. Really? That it just makes no sense. It honestly makes no sense. You try to sleep with Zach in season 1. Fatima shot at you. Why would you do anything else to try to jeopardize coming in between? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I was like, really, Tyler Perry? I ain't coming for you, bro. But in a sense, I'm kind of coming for you. Because why? And then Angela was like, well, let me see your computer. And I'm like, who the hell are you talking to? For me, it's so interesting that these are damn adults, that these are 36-year-old individuals that are having these type of conversations with each other. First of all, no hold, you cannot see my computer. I did what I did, whatever the case may be. It's like, if you're going to do something, stand in it. They do stuff, then they lie about it. They do stuff and trying to act like it wasn't them. They're oblivious to what they're being called out on. It's like watching high school antics. It really is. You approach, like, it was just so dumb, but that's what happened. I know a lot of y'all may listen to me, but you don't watch the show actually, but that is what happened. And I'm like, okay, now that you know I did it, what you gonna do? And so Angela was like, are you that jealous of Fatima? I'm like, not everybody got to be jealous of Fatima. Really? I understanding and having lead characters and having certain things happen to them or to uplift them, but I'm like, come on. It seems too much. But we all knew that Belinda did this. So we finna move right on along. So Fatima's at work and she gets served. And a lot of people, I had some people in my inbox or whatever telling me that, Fatima needs to beat Deja's ass for Deja serving her. And I'm going to tell y'all my thoughts on this, all right? So, do I believe that Fatima should get served because of Deja's fake injury? Absolutely not, because we all know that there is absolutely nothing wrong with Deja physically. However, I am not against Fatima being served for assaulting someone. I'm not. And I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but y'all know by now I don't give a damn. Fatima and Zach are not that far off from each other when it comes to levels of accountability and consequences. Zach believes that he can disrespect, disregard, and degrade women. and not have any type of consequence for his decisions. Fatima believes that she can go around assaulting people, forcing people to do things that they don't want to do, bullying individuals to get them to do things that they want to do, and feel as if there is no consequence for her decisions. In what world? In what world? So for that alone, I don't blame Deja for doing that, but it wouldn't have been, I'm serving you. I would have called the cops on you because you did assault me. And you've assaulted me more than once. And so that's my whole thing. Like, I'm all for uplifting our main characters and pushing them on the path and the purpose that they have, which we don't know their path or purpose. However, you ain't finna go around just assaulting people and act like you could just get off scot-free. It does not happen. In what world? Fatima could be everybody's ass. I always ask that question. Like, that is not realistic. And I don't give a damn who her cousin is. I know people love to say that. Well, Madam is her cousin. What Madam got to do with it? Nothing. You cannot go around putting your hands on people and believe that everything gonna be on the up and up while you're trying to be a lawyer. Yeah, because that makes all the sense in the world. Lord, this show, Jesus. So we see Fatima and her mother, and I'm skipping around. We see Fatima and her mom at the restaurant. And Mona, I don't know what to say about this because it's only been literally like 2 days. And Mona is talking to Fatima about her father and her stepdad and them inviting Zach over for dinner, and they want Fatima to come. She's going to make all her favorites. Fatima isn't keen on that because she doesn't want to make it seem like it was her decision to do this. And I was really having a difficult time connecting with this because my thinking is, what has Zach done to make you feel that you were wrong in what you did and how you treated him and the things that you stated? Now, I ain't gonna get too far into the dinner because I believe that happens on the next episode. But it was just very interesting. Mona begins to talk about Fatima's dad. And, Fatima tells her, well, Mom, you did what you felt was best, because Fatima's father was going in and out of prison and she did not want her daughter to be around it. So she left and did what she had to do. And she was like, sometimes I wonder what happened if I would have stayed. Could I have helped him get on the right track? And I said, let me stop right there, because that is something that I despise. I despise that it is taught to women and girls at a young age as if women are supposed to be the savior to their man, that you're supposed to lead them to the promised land. You're supposed to part the Red Sea for them to have a clear path to walk in. That is not your job. That is not your responsibility. If your man was raised with a deficit of having a mother there to love him and nurture him like she was supposed to do, that is not your responsibility to fill in the gaps of where his mother failed at. Go get the help you need, sir. Do it for you so that you can be a better man, that you could be a better individual. And so when you attempt to attach yourself to a woman and be a part of her life, you know how to treat her, and you won't look at her through the lenses of what your mom did not do. So I hate the fact that narrative has been pushed on women, that you're supposed to do everything you can to help this man. Now, I'm not saying that you're not supposed to help your partner, pray for them and, speak life into them. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. But when those things become a burden and when they hinder you from being the best you that you can be, it's time to reevaluate. And so I understood what Mona was saying, but understanding that your daughter is in a vulnerable state, that probably wasn't the best thing to say to her. It probably just wasn't. And then she talked about how, even though, I love your stepfather. I said, oh, now he's her stepfather. You have been calling this man her father the entire time. But now that you're talking about Fatima's dad, oh, your stepfather wants Zach to come to dinner. Oh, now he's her stepfather. I said, okay, I made a point to bring that up because I thought that was interesting that was now the verbiage in which Mona was using. And she was like, if your dad was to walk in here now, I would still get weak in the knees. And I'm not, okay. I'm just like, all right, what are you talking about, Mona? What is it? But anyway, long story short, she just wanted Fatima to come to dinner because Zach was coming to dinner and she wanted them to talk. Okay. And that's it. So we get to, I can't never remember this man's name. Henry, Harold, it's H, Fatima's father. He called Zach, and Zach was like, who is this? He was like, this your father-in-law. He wanted Zach to come to dinner. Zach wasn't feeling it initially, but he decided that he would go. Moving right along. Now, the last scene, I'm going to connect it to the first scene. So Zach was envisioning himself having sex with Fatima. And I think he said something like, what's my name? Or something like that. And she ended up saying Bryce. And that's who was calling Zach that awakened him from his dream. And, you know, he wants to show him this property. He wants Zach to be on board for this property, so on and so forth. And so after that, Zach calls Angela because he wants to know, is Fatima there? All this stuff like that. And for everybody who be saying that Paul, is something wrong with Paul, is something wrong with Aaron, I can't put my finger on it, he's a stalker, Zach ass is a stalker, okay? He pops up to the friend's house, he calls, he does everything he can to be in the area of Fatima. In my eyes, that's a damn stalker too. So Zach ain't no better than the men that people can't seem to put their finger on. There's something wrong with him. I just had to point that out because I forgot to talk about it earlier. Now back to this last scene. We got Bryce, Zach, and Val, who is the realtor. They're going over this property. You know, she's excited. And I actually like the character of Val. I really do like her. So they're talking, and, you know, Zach was basically saying, like, I don't have the money, pretty much. And he was just being honest. Bryce wants this thing to work so bad. You know, we haven't been approved, but Bryce just really wants this because he understands they can make a lot of money out of this. So then we see Paul. And Val was like, you know, honey, can we talk? And at first I was like, but it was just so Tyler Perry-ish. Okay, it was so Tyler Perry. I said, Tyler, you're not finna drag me in with this. You're not finna drag me in with this because I know you won't BS right now. And so Zach was like, honey, yo, this dude married. I said, how you got married out of that? Neither one of them is wearing a wedding ring. How did you get married out of that? I said, if this wasn't one of those Tyler Perry intentionalities of just, you know, just so happen putting everything where they're supposed to be. I said, you know what, Tyler? I'm not going to do this with you today. I'm not going to do this with you today. So Zach had this look on his face like, wow. I said, no, he's not married. I know he's not married. You done slept over this woman's house. You have been out in the open. You're not married. I said, Tyler, kiss my ass. That's basically what I said. When that scene came up, I said, Tyler, kiss my ass. I know this man not married, and we just got to wait episode 16 to find out whatever this truth was. Overall, ZATIMA is ZATIMA-ing, okay? And you can let that be whatever it means for you. You can let it mean whatever it means for you. It is what it is. I want to thank you guys for your questions because watching ZATIMA, sometimes it gives me a headache. And I'm just like, what can I pull to talk about? But you guys, thankfully, have given me some ideas that I can at least add like 2 or 3 different videos to go along with ZATIMA after the review. So I appreciate that. I want to thank you guys for listening. And until next time, y'all be safe out there. And I will holler at y'all later.